Welcome to my channel. My name is James. I am a co-editor of the Bookworms horror zine with Regina St. Clair. You can find this on Etsy. I'll put it in the show notes. It is a physical zine with original horror fiction. We are up to issue 4 right now, so check it out. This is my thrift store book haul. This is stuff I picked up. I'm going to talk about why I got it, and none of this stuff is expensive at all. Like, this stuff is just a couple bucks each. So the first book is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Why did I get this? I have already read this book. I love this book, and I don't have it. So I figured for $1, I'll pick it up. I would love to read it again. And until I can find like something to replace this, this will be my book. So a lot of times I'll go into a thrift store, and if I find like a first edition of this, which would be amazing, then I would then replace this with the first edition. But right now, this is the only one I got. I forget, it was like $1, $2. Great book if you haven't read it. One thing I love to do is get books on writing. If you listen to the podcast that Regina St. Clair and I put together, it's called Writing Fiction. Regina St. Clair is an author, and I write as well, and we talk a lot about writing. And I love to pick up old books on writing. I like to find out what they used to talk about before the internet, before blogging and things like that when it comes to writing. And this book is by Rudolf Flesch, The Art of Readable Writing. I haven't read it yet, but I am looking forward to checking it out and doing a review on this book. I just picked this up at Newtown Book and Record Exchange. This is Isaac Asimov's Halloween. So basically, it's from the Isaac Asimov collection of stories, all for Halloween. I am so excited to have found this. It's a great paperback. I probably paid, I think at Newtown Books you pay half of what the cover price is, and this was like $6. So I probably paid $3 for this. This is going to be so much fun to read. I love the cover art. Put that up there for you. So, Tricks and Treats from Nancy Kress, Ian R. McLeod, Howard, and I can't see his name, and others. So, cool. Anytime I see Mad Magazine books like this, I used to read these before bedtime. All the time I used to read these when I was a kid. So this is Mad's look at our sick world. These are little paperback books that Mad used to put out. I always pick these up when I see them. This was also, I believe, I got this at Newtown Book and Record Exchange for like $1. Super cheap. This is a book by Brian Keene. Now, Regina St. Clair turned me on to Brian Keene. I've never read anything by Brian Keene. So this was at the Goodwill. I thought, why not give it a try? It looks like it's a zombie book. He's the winner of Bram Stoker Award. So looking forward to eventually reading this paperback book by Brian Keene. I just picked this today up at Goodwill. It's Robert A. Heinlein. Again, the Writing Fiction podcast, we just went over Robert Heinlein's 5 rules of writing. And it's almost like the universe comes out and tells you, hey, do you want to read something by Robert Heinlein? Which I don't think I've ever seen anything. Maybe it's just because we've been doing the podcast that all this stuff is in my head. But this is called Podcane of Mars. Beautiful cover art. I am looking forward to checking this one out. Now let's get into the hardcover books. All right, Joyce Carol Oates, The Accursed. Now I just wrote a newsletter that talks a little bit about this book and has Stephen King's thoughts on this book. Now, I picked it up just because I wanted to read Joyce Carol Oates, and I'm also going through her masterclass on writing. But when I didn't realize that it's actually a first edition that is signed by Joyce Carol Oates. I don't know if you can see that, but on my newsletter I have a close-up picture of that. I love that it has a picture. This is all in my area, Princeton, New Jersey. So got a nice little map for the story, which I think is awesome. So this, $3.99, $4, first edition signed by Joyce Carol Oates. Picked this up at Goodwill. Most of the stuff is at Goodwill. To a thrift, I stopped going for books because they're getting out of control with their prices. I want to go and discover something that is unique or something I'm interested in reading, and I want to pay as little as possible. To a thrift puts like Stephen King novels now at $15, $20. I'm not paying that for a used book. Even if it is worth that, I am not paying that. My goal is to find those first editions as low as possible, and you can do that too. Don't ever think you have to pay full collector price for anything. You will find it if you're persistent and you keep looking. Here is a book So there was a Facebook marketplace thing that said, hey, I got a bunch of books on the curb, take them, they're free. So I went, and some of the books I saw in the pictures were gone. It was Star Wars related stuff. I didn't get there in time for that. But this was in a box that it was shipped in. It is Nimish's Ship by Anne McCaffrey, and this is a signed first edition of this book. It is beautiful, mint condition. I got this one for free. It even comes with a certificate of authenticity. I have not read this book, but it is beautiful. It has beautiful artwork in it. I can't wait to go through this book, but just the binding, everything about this book is gorgeous. And again, I didn't pay a dime for this. It was free on the side of the road. Like I said, you can find Stephen King first editions at the Goodwill for next to nothing. This was $4, which is a deal for a first edition of The Dark Half. Now, how do I know? There are amazing websites that will tell you, but on the inside, it'll say $21.95. So that's one sign. The other thing I love about this, and now some people who are collectors probably would hate this, but this actually has a little inscription from who gave it to, it says, I don't know if the name is Lo Pierre or whatever. It says Christmas 1989, love from Mom D. I love those things. But if you go to the actual page to find out, it's a first edition. It says first published in 1989 by Viking Penguin. And then it has a bunch of numbers and it begins with the number 1. This is a first edition, US edition. Now you can also look here. We have the SK in gold lettering and then the Dark Half on gold. This is like a cloth back. So this is a genuine first edition Stephen King novel from 1989. I think it's valued probably in mint condition anywhere from $10 to $20. But for $4, I'm super happy to get this. And I love this story and I like the movie too. I don't know if many people, if you like the movie, let me know. I like the movie. I thought it was okay. And now the creme de la creme. I did not ever expect to find this. And I'm sure, again, I could always go on eBay and find books. But there's no fun in that. I'm looking at these thrift stores to get something for $1, $2. And I found this book, and most of you might not even know what this book is. But when I saw the title, I'm like, oh my God. It is called Michelle Remembers. If you don't know what this book is, this is the book that started the satanic panic of the 80s. This story is about a woman named Michelle Smith who goes under hypnosis and claims to have been abused by satanic cults. And this is the story. Now, is this a first edition? Let me take a look. Now, it looks like it's missing the dust jacket, but I don't care because I have never seen this in the wild. Yeah, actually, it says first edition in there, which to me, the only thing that would make this better is to have Michelle Smith sign it, which I doubt she ever did sign these books. Maybe she did, I don't know. But it's this doctor who talks about her case study and how she was abused by Satanists. What an amazing find. I know it's a nerdy thing for me, but to me, from being in the 80s, understanding the whole history of the Satanic Panic and knowing that it began with this book, the only thing, I also wish I had the dust cover. I don't even know what the dust cover looks like. I only saw it in paperback. I didn't know there was a hardback. I mean, I'm sure there was, but anyway, this is my thrift store book haul. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, let me know in the comments. I would love to I am going to keep doing this, but I'd like to have a conversation going. What are some of the books you're looking for in the wild? All right, hit subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Peace.